question about that. And just FYI, your comment should have been reserved for oven by the board. This is from the community, not your time to express your opinion. It's our opinion. So FYI, maybe you could move that later on. Of course, you're in the habit of moving things around. Last meeting, you went to executive session, which you're allowed to do. Came back from executive session, knowing what you were going to discuss ahead of time, came back, amended the agenda to add something to superintendent's salary, an amendment, Amendment 11, I think. Add that to his salary, because nobody was here, you figured you'd just bring out the amendment. Wasn't on the agenda. You amended the agenda, which I've also heard you say, Mr. Pearl, had to be done at the beginning of a meeting. When Mr. Wojtovich tried to amend the agenda, prior meetings, he was shut down because you said he had to do it at the beginning, not in the middle. So what's it going to be? So again, transparency, what I said was, looking at from where we're at, it looks bad. The optics are horrible. Yeah, you might mean well. How do we know? This is all we have to look at. This is all we can see. We can only go by what we see. You post it online? Sure. I saw online the Sixth Amendment to the contract was entered August 13, 2018. 2019-2020 base salary for Mr. Roberts, $184,438. 2022-2023 school year base salary, $248,438. So in 4 years, that salary increased by $64,000. Meanwhile, our proficiency rates went down. We've talked about that before, right? We've hired, here. One quote from the rationale that was read during that time. In order to remain competitive with comparable school districts, and based on the ongoing litigation surrounding retirement pensions, it is beneficial for the board to approve the proposed 11th Amendment to the superintendent contract. So if you want to remain competitive, let's talk about this for a minute. I looked up 6 surrounding districts, bus drivers, salaries. The average from those 6 districts, Anchor Bay, Warren Con, UCS, Lance Cruz, Fraser, Romeo. Average pay, $23.72 an hour. Our drivers, $20.75. When does it stop? When will you start taking care of the people that are most important to this district? Not the people that sit up here, not the people that sit in office, the people that mean something to this district. Do your job, take care of those people.
Yep.
Woo!
Leanne's next.
What was that? 300,000.
At every meeting here, people ask questions to you. Why you're pushing left-wing indoctrination? Why sexually graphic books remain in your school libraries? Why your proficiency scores are so low? Why you implemented rules that infringe on their constitutional rights? And the list goes on. It's the same questions over and over again. And at every meeting, you ignore all of them. You provide no answers or explanations. You sit up there like a royal court, lording it over all of us, dictating who and what we speak about. You installed 4 police officers to intimidate us. You implemented rules violating our rights. You put up a barricade, moved the microphone to the back of the room, and took away our podium. A podium taxpayers paid for. In fact, our tax dollars bought everything in this building, and we pay your salaries. You work for us. These meetings have become nothing more than a farce. For more than a year, we've watched this board belittle commenters here, listened to a board member defend his wife's hateful rhetoric, heard Superintendent Roberts repeatedly gaslight us, observed the lawyer and superintendent take over the board president's job, listened to you defend keeping sexually graphic books in your libraries, sat in shock as you walked out of the room on people during their public comment time, and in outrage as you had police escort people out of these meetings simply because you didn't like what they said. I've noticed a lot of teachers retiring in this district, and your enrollment has dropped significantly. It's gotten so bad you had to pass a millage to bilk taxpayers. Actually, it's become so appalling that your own cheer squad of supporters rarely attend these meetings. You had to get a different lawyer, and your own superintendent doesn't even live in this district. You've become so immersed in your own ideological agendas and quest for power that you're blind to the writing on the wall. How long do you plan to continue your charades here? Of course, that's another question we'll never get an answer to. The only good thing to happen during these meetings is you've been exposed. In fact, you've been exposed so badly, 5 members of this board are leaving, with the exception of the one conservative board member leaving who actually has common sense. That's a huge win for this district. In the words of President Trump, we're draining the swamp here. When government betrays the needs of the people, it's no longer their government, it's their enemy. Based on your words and actions in this room and your results or lack thereof in classrooms, you've become the enemy. And we will continue to expose you. One more thing. Superintendent Roberts, why do you think it's okay for you to continue to violate the law and continue to keep people blocked off your X account? Do you think you're above the law?
All set. Sit down.
You want us to follow your laws, but you don't want to follow the laws in our country.
You're done. Do you live in the district?
Please.
Doesn't matter, it's a public meeting.
Do you own property?
Yes, I
What's
do.
the address?
It's none of your damn business.
Please, hey, excuse us. One person at a time is speaking.
I'd like to get an answer to that question, Roberts.
That's enough. That's the second time, please. Next speaker is Amelia.
People's address.